Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. For 2026, I really want to answer a question that I've had for a very long time, and that is Pokemon card investing actually worth it? It's a very common question that I personally get asked all the time by other people. Hey, should I invest in Pokemon cards? Is it worth it to invest? Invest. And I don't really have an answer for them. I can't say yes or no. So I want to do something. It's a little bit of an experiment. You guys might hate it, you might love it, but what I'm going to try to answer is for myself, is Pokemon card investing actually worth it? So for 2026, I am doing an official Pokemon card investing portfolio. My goal for it is I'm going to actually try to invest in Pokemon cards. I'm going to separate Jake the collector from Jake the investor, and I'm going to try to get as much into the mindset of an investor as possible and say, okay, if I were to purchase something to invest in, what would it be? What do I buy and what do I pick up and how does it look over time? The goal at the end of this series is that I can definitively answer, hey, I've tried Pokemon card investing and yes, it's totally worth it. Or hey, I've invested in Pokemon cards and it went terribly. And if I can invest in Pokemon cards, it probably won't work out for you either. At the end of the day, I just want to be able to answer that question really clearly from my personal experience. So that's what we're going to try. We're going to actually invest in some Pokemon card products. And there's going to be some rules around that, and we're going to talk about that in today's video. The first item that I picked up is obviously some Evolving Skies sleeve booster packs, and I just got back from Front Row Card Show where I purchased all of these items at, and I picked these Evolving Skies sleeve booster packs up for $45 each. I purchased every single one that the vendor had available. They had 18 available, so we purchased 18 of these at $45 each. The first rule of this investing portfolio is that I am not allowed to purchase any items that are still readily available at Targets, Walmart, wherever that may be. And that means I'm not going to be buying Destined Rivals, Mega Evolution, Phantasmal Flames, God forbid Ascended Heroes, and there's a bunch of different reasons for that. As an Pokemon card investor, I don't want to be picking up any Pokemon card products that are still in print. Destined Rivals just came out 6 or 7 months ago. It does not rotate out of standard until 2027. That is over a year and a half away, 2 years away. So in no world does it make sense for me as a Pokemon card investor to be purchasing those items. So I'm not going to be competing for items that are in the same category as your major big box retailer. If something is available at a GameStop, a Walmart, Costco, then those are items that I am not going to be investing in. So I'm going to be separating myself as a Pokemon card investor from all the other items that people are readily picking up right now. If something's going to be released in the next 1 month or two, I'm not picking it up as an investor, and I think that still makes total sense. So the first item that we picked up are 18 Evolving Skies sleeve booster packs, and I think these are a fantastic purchase because right around October, these were going for as much as $60. And guys, I just purchased these for $45 each. These are really, really great. They have the potential for an alt art hit inside. A lot of people prefer the sleeve booster packs over loose regular booster packs that you can get from any regular Evolving Skies products, and a big part of that is that these are a little bit more harder to tamper with, and they're also significantly more rare. So my goal for these is that by the end of 2026, I just want these to reach right around $65 in value, which means we get ourselves a 50% return, which I think is really, really solid for something like Pokemon card investing. You probably want at least a 50% return. Next item up that we recently picked up from this card show includes some Hidden Fates booster packs, which brings us to rule number 2 of this specific project, which is whatever I'm investing in, theoretically, I have to put my money where my mouth is, which means if I say this is a good investment and I should be purchasing it as a Pokemon card investor right now, personally, and this is based on my own personal biases and intuition, my own personal experience, this is what Jake the collector might not do, but this is what Jake the investor would do. I would be picking up some Hidden Fates booster pack. I purchased these for $35 each. The vendor had them listed for $40 each, but I think $35 is a fantastic deal for me personally. I don't think these have as much potential as Evolving Skies, but I do want to diversify my sealed product portfolio a little bit. So we picked up some Hidden Fates booster packs as well, 4 of them. And so that's the second rule, is that if I want to invest something, I have to buy it. I cannot just add it to my investment portfolio and track it theoretically. I have to actually put my money where my mouth is. So anything that I'm investing in, I'm also purchasing just the packs themselves or any of the cards. And we got some serious sealed and graded products coming up soon too. Next product up, we got ourselves some more booster packs. I can't afford any major sealed products of these just yet, and that is some Generations booster packs. I picked these up for $175 each. This is an art set of the whole entire series, although the vendor did not value it as an art set, which means we got ourselves the Blastoise, the Charizard, the Pikachu, as well as the Venusaur, the complete generation set. Obviously, super nostalgia pack arts and pack set. Really, really great. In 2025, these went from being $50 booster packs all the way up to $190, and I picked these up for $175 each, so I already got a little bit of a discount off the market for them. And my goal for 2026 is I just want these to reach right around $250 to $260 by the end of 2026, which will give us a 50% return year over year, which I think is really, really solid. 50% year over year might sound insane, but you got to understand these went up 300% in 2025. My goal is that these don't return 300%. Well, it'd be great if they did. But realistically, I just want a 50% return. 50% in 2026 compared to 300% in 2025. I think it's very doable, specifically because it is the 30th anniversary year. Speaking of the 30th anniversary year, we got ourselves some 25th anniversary edition Japanese booster packs. These are really cool. You do get a guaranteed hit inside of these. These can contain a 25th anniversary Charizard or a 25th anniversary Gold Star Umbreon or Blastoise or Venusaur. These guarantee you one of those potential hits, so it's very possible they contain something like that, which is why these packs are really expensive. I actually paid $75 for these, only $5 off market, which is not the best deal, but these are kind of the dark horse pick because of how incredibly rare these booster packs are. They have the potential to pop off, so Jake the Investor is picking these up for that specific reason. These have just been kind of slept on, but I don't know if they might be slept on forever. I've talked about this in the past, is that collectibles, by their very nature, like to spike in value, so these might remain dormant for 5 years in a row, and suddenly one specific year they went from being a $100 pack to a $500 booster pack. So that's how collectibles like to work sometimes. Next up, we got ourselves some really larger sealed products, which includes the Crown Zenith Elite Trainer Box. This is an item that I've been touting for a long time. Picked one of these up at the Front Row Card Show for $180. So I got $20 off the sticker price, which I think is really solid just because you can see the Crown Zenith ETB collector currently has the market price of this at $222. And I picked this up for $180. So $40 off market is really, really solid for any sealed product. My goal for the Crown Zenith ETB is I just want it to reach $270 by the end of 2026, which I think is very possible, considering, again, it went up like 300% in 2025. I'm just hoping for a 50% return in 2026. The only other sealed item that we picked up is a Celebrations Pokémon Center Elite Trainer Box. A big reason why I picked this up, and I bought it for $350, so I didn't get much of a discount on this specific product, but $350 I think is really solid for a Celebration Pokemon Center ETB. It's not that expensive considering how more expensive some other items relatively comparables are, like Paldean Fates Pokemon Center ETB is already like more expensive than that, which is kind of ridiculous. So this specific one, it went for right around $140 at the start of January 2025, and right now it's going for $360. So again, another really solid 300% return in 2025. I don't expect that. I just want this to reach like maybe like around $500 by the end of 2026, which again is really reasonable. I think that's very possible considering for Generations, which is the previous 20th anniversary set, during the 25th anniversary year, Generations ETB reached $800. I don't expect that to repeat, it'd be great for me as the investor if that were to repeat for celebrations. But if this reaches $500 by the end of this year, then that's all I'm really hoping for. Now we're going to move on to some graded cards, and this is where things get really juicy. The first graded card I picked up at this show, as the Pokemon card investor that I am, is a graded PSA 10 Bubble Mew, which is an incredibly desirable card and probably one of the biggest investor bro card around. You know, some people might argue, is this a modern set? Which is kind of breaking rule 1 for me personally, because I'm not supposed to pick up any readily available cards or products. And I think Paldean Fates is out of stock long enough that I can at least pick up a graded Bubble Mew. This is not something that's going to be readily available at a Target, Walmart, or anything of that nature. Paldean Fates is getting incredibly expensive. Paldean Fates booster packs are going for roughly $13 to $15 per booster pack. And I think a Bubble Mew has actually been going down in price rather than up. My goal is that it just goes back to the previous price it was at. I picked up this card for $1,500 in a PSA 10. At its peak price, it was going for a little bit over $2,000. And my goal for 2026 is I just want it to reach that price again, which I think is very possible because it has reached that price before. Paldean Fates is pretty much completely out of stock. You might be lucky to find a couple of packs, like a random booster bundle of Paldean Fates that did not get sold out somewhere in the world. Or maybe some of the Great Tusk collections from the previous Black Friday. But there aren't a lot of them out there, and I think this has a lot of potential to potentially climb in 2026. So I picked up one copy of it for this specific investing project. Now, next up, we got ourselves what is potentially the best deal that I got of the whole entire convention, which is I got a PSA 10 copy of the Japan Post Pikachu, as well as a PSA 10 copy of the Cramorant card, and I got these two cards for a combined $2,300, and this is a sequential set of these two cards. And if I go on eBay right now, I can see an eBay auction of these two cards, and that specific eBay auction is already going for over $3,000. So we got ourselves a $700 plus discount on these two cards at this specific card show. That's an incredible deal. So that's what you're going to be wanting to look out for. You might say, Jake, if I saw that deal, I would have picked it up too. Well, I picked these two cards up on Sunday, so somehow they made it through a complete day at this vending show before anyone picked up these two cards at an incredible price, really. The vendor had these two cards listed for $2,500. I got a $200 discount off these two, which is like 9% off, maybe 8 or 9% off the sticker price. Nothing super crazy, but it was a really good deal because it is a sequential set. I would say I got the Pikachu for $2,000, and I would say I got the Cramorant for $300 just because their prices are combined. So it's kind of hard to separate them out individually. I would value the Pikachu at right around $2,400 right now, and maybe the Cramorant at around $300. So combined, the two value of these cards should be right around $2,700 because they're sequential. They might go up to $3,000. In fact, they did go to $3,000 because that's one of the eBay sold listings right now. Moving on to some of the more expensive investment, we got ourselves the Gengar VMAX Alt Art card. I think this card is incredibly underrated right now. Again, this is not a card that Jake the collector might pick up because it doesn't fit inside of my personal collection, but this is a card that Jake the investor has a lot of ideas for. I think it has a lot of potential, and a big part of that is because this card is cheaper than a Fusion Strike booster box. So a Fusion Strike booster box is currently going for right around $900 to $1,000 per booster box, and the Gengar VMAX Raw is currently going for right around $700 according to Collector, which does not make sense. The best hit from Fusion Strike, which is a very desirable hit, if you open a Fusion Strike booster box, you'd be insanely lucky to get yourself a Gengar VMAX. This is the card you're looking for if you rip open a Fusion Strike booster box. And it's only $700 raw. That doesn't make any sense. So I think this card has a lot of potential for it to actually pop off. So because of that, I think it's a great investment. And I think I got this card in a PSA 10. The sticker price on it is $1,800. I paid $1,600 for this specific card. So we got ourselves a $200 discount off the sticker price. And if I look at the market, In September, this card was already going for right around $2,200, maybe even like $2,400. And right now, it's currently going for right around $1,700. So I think paying $1,600 is very, very fair for this specific card. And by the end of 2026, I just want the Gengar VMAX to go back to being $2,400. If it goes back to being $2,400, which I think is very likely at some point in 2026, then I basically make back 50% return on this card, which I think is exactly what we're looking for if we're trying to invest in Pokemon cards. Next up, the biggest card that I picked up of the whole entire card show is the Gengar and Mimikyu Tag Team GX Alt Art in a PSA 10. Again, this is a card that Jake the collector would not have picked up, but is a card that Jake the investor sees a lot of potential in. I think this card art is not the best. It's actually one of the weaker alt art cards from the tag team era. However, Gengar and Mimikyu are incredibly popular, and I think they're super cool. And I think that there is a lot of potential popularity growth in Gengar cards over the next couple years. Same with Mimikyu. Mimikyu is adorable. And I picked up this card for $3,600, so I got a $400 discount off the sticker price, which is a 10% discount. Very, very common if you want to negotiate with vendors. This card's current market price is going for basically $4,000, $3,950. So they stickered it correctly. We negotiated a good deal. And because I paid $3,600 for this card, my potential for it is that by the end of this year, I want it to be going for right around $5,400, which might be a tall ask. But if you look at this card's growth over the past year, I think it's very possible. My market research or market analysis as an investor shows that a lot of content creators are really pushing the popularity of Gengar, whether you want it or not. Whether they're doing it on purpose or not, I don't really know, and it doesn't matter to me. I just know that the popularity of Gengar is climbing, and I think it's going to continue to climb over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And this is probably one of the most popular Gengar cards ever. So I'm going to pick it up as a Pokemon card investor. It's the current biggest card in our whole entire investment portfolio, which we are keeping track of. I spent a total of $11,300 at this specific card show on this Pokemon card investment portfolio, which is a lot of money, but this is our very first episode and we gotta at least put our money where our mouth is. So I spent $11,300 at this card show for this specific project. And my goal is that at the end of this year, we make back 50% of our total value, whatever it is. You can see that we're currently up a lot of money, but that's really doesn't make any sense because realistically, we put it all into our investment portfolio. So that doesn't really check out. Truthfully, because I spent $11,300 and the current market value of our whole entire portfolio is $12,500, we basically saw a 10% or 11% return in just buying these at an 11% discount. I got a little bit of a good deal on a lot of these items, which is why I bought a lot of these items. So let me know what you think of this project. I think this is going to be really, really interesting to see where this goes down the line. I'm going to be tracking all of this on the collector app. If you want to see this specific portfolio, which we have all these cards and items added to this specific portfolio on the collector app, you can click the link down in the description and you can see it all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this project, whether you love it or hate it, whether you think this is a dumb idea or not. I'm doing this to answer the question at the end of the day is that, hey, I can say I've tried Pokemon card investing. Like I've actually tried it, really try it as hard as I could, and it didn't work out. And if it didn't work out, I can at least say that. And if it did work out, I can at least say that. So my goal is that at the end of this, if someone asks me, hey, Jake, is it worth it to invest in Pokemon cards? I can say, yes, it is worth it, but you have to know what you're doing. Or I can say, no, it's not worth it. Even if you are an expert at Pokemon card collecting, you can still get burned really hard. So I just want to be able to answer the question at the end of the day, is Pokemon card investing worth it or not? And I hope you join me on this journey. Let me know what your thoughts are. If there are some cards that you think are going to pop off this year, let me know down in the comment section. I would love to read your comment and maybe you can convince me to invest in some of those items. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time.